Okay, so the yesterday class topic.
Flow control.
We covered a switch yesterday.
Flow control. I think we have to start looping today.
Start the looping concepts. Huh? So just switch is completed. Assignments are completed. Given the multiple assignments yesterday.
Yeah, complete.
Oh,
Completed, sir.
good. I think last two classes we done the conditional statements, right? If else if and switch, right? Hmm. Yeah. Today class will start the for loop guys for each while and do while. Today completely focus on just for loop guys. For loop is a bit important. If you take the for looping statement, right? If you want to execute the same code multiple times, like same code you will repeat the multiple times. We are going with the for loop, right? Same code to repeat the multiple times. Simply we are using the concept like for loop, right? Exactly. Okay, the syntax of the for loop is what is syntax of for loop here? For contains three parts, guys. For contains total three parts here. The first one is what initialization. The first one is initialization. The second one is like condition, guys. So second one is like condition. The third one is like increment or decrement part, guys. Increment of what decrement part, right? Exactly. Guys, for contains total three parts, guys. Initialization, condition, increment, decrement part, right? So after that, here we have the body, right? Exactly. So in the for loop, see what is the body written here. The initialization done only once actually. The first time the initialization happen. So it means I equals 0, x equals 0, something like that. Initialization is done. After the initialization, it will check for the condition. Number 2, check the condition. If the condition is true, means what happened, guys? Body will be executed. Guys, check the flow of execution because I discuss almost all 20 cases. Even 20 cases also flow of execution is common, right? If you're good at the flow of execution, then you can able to tell the answers clearly, right? That's what, guys. So initialization is done first, then condition. If the condition is true, means body, guys. After body, the control goes to increment decrement part. Hmm? The control goes to what? Increment decrement part, right? Exactly. After that, again control goes to hmm, again control goes to condition, right? Then again body, then again increment decrement part, right? Again increment decrement part. Like that, the loop is repeated. Condition body increment decrement, condition body increment decrement, condition body increment decrement. The loop is repeated until the condition is failed, right? Guys, the loop is repeated until the condition is guys, until the condition is failed, right? Exactly.
Right.
Guys, that is a for loop syntax basically. So for initialization, condition, increment decrement part, right? Increment decrement part. Guys, let me write the code for that. So Java the class is called test class. You can define the main method. What the syntax of main method? Public static void main. So you can write the string array RGS. Yeah, RGS. Yeah, open this, close this. Guys, I want print good morning 10 times basically. To print the good morning 10 times, take the for loop. Good morning 10 times means what? Initialization starts from 0 or 0 or 1 up to you. So then how many times you have to print
I
this?
less
10
than
times. I less than 10. I less than
I
10. Then you want to increment the data, right? So because 0, 1, 2, something like that. Then you can write I plus plus, right? Exactly. Guys, I equals 0, I less than 10, 0 less than 10. True, right? 0 less than 10, true. Then I plus plus, 1 less than 10, 2 less than 10, 3 less than 10, 4 less than 10, 5 less than 10. Like that, the loop is repeated until the condition is failed, right? Exactly. Now here, the system dot out dot println of, here you can write the good morning message. Good morning. Guys, you try to print that I variable also, so that you get some clarity. So what is the I is holding, right? As you try to print the I value, so that you get the clarity about what is I is holding, right? Exactly. Yeah. Just open the command prompt. Open the command prompt. Local disk key. How to compile, guys? Java C test data. Java C test dot Java code is compiled, fine. So Java, the class is class, yeah, test class, right? We got the output is like good morning. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Yeah, 0 to 9 value, guys. So because I starts from 0, I starts from 0, 0 less than 10, then I plus plus, right? I plus plus, right? Exactly. Guys, please tell me, I want print like 1 to 10. I want print the numbers from 1 to 10. Then what are modification I have to do, tell me? Guys, it is printing 0
I
to 9,
equal
right?
to 1.
We have to
I
start from
equal to 1.
equal to 1.
I equal to less than 10 or otherwise less than 11.
Less than equals to.
Better to write less
Equal
than equal to
to
10, right?
10 or less than 11.
Okay, 11 is not good. Just you can make it less than or equal to 10 means it will take the 10 value also, right? Exactly.
Okay.
Guys, are you clear? Depends on your requirement. See, here I take the initial from 0 onwards, 0 to 10. Most of the students are thinking like only here we have to pass the 0 only. So don't think like that, guys. So here depends on your requirement. You can take any value, right? You can take what? Any value, right? Exactly. So guys, I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus here. Simply can take the message like good evening, right? Guys, you can take the message like what? Good evening, right? That's all, guys. Then you can run this code. Code is compiled fine. Code is executed fine. So Java, the class is called what? Test class. See guys, we got the output like 1 to 10, right? 1 to 10, right? Exactly. Guys, next question tell me here. I want to print the uh, 333 to 444. Guys, I want to print what? 333 to 444 by stepping the 6. Then what is the code tell me? Guys, I want to print
By stepping?
333 to 444 by stepping how much, guys? 6. 6 is increment value. Then tell me the code for that. Guys, please respond the code for that.
Increment to 6.
333 to 444, right? By stepping the 6 value. Their initialization starts from
333.
With 333.
Yeah, initialization starts
I
from
equals to
333. Yeah. Guys, tell me the code. Int
I equals
333, right? And I equal
I
333.
less than
I less than or equal to 444 I want to print. But increment value is how much, guys? Know guys, how much increment
I
value?
plus 6.
I plus
I plus
6.
6.
Okay, good. Then here can write the message like the system dot out dot println of. Yeah, the system dot out dot println of. Then you can print the message like good night. Good night, right? Good night. Then simply can print the I value, right? That's all, guys. So good night. Just I'm printing the values like I value, right? That's it. Then you can compile this code. Definitely code is compiled or not compiled, guys. Maybe you'll get error message. Read the error message, guys. Error like I plus 6 is not a statement, right? I equal to 333, I less than or equal to 444, I plus 6. Because when you're incrementing the data like I plus plus is not a problem, guys. Incrementing by plus 1. But when you increment the plus 2, plus 3 like this, when you have a data like this, then we have to I plus 6 equal to I, we have to assign the code like this. Guys, I equal to I plus 6 we have to assign. After incrementing plus 6, we have to assign the data to the I variable, right? Guys, we have to assign the data to which variable here? I variable, right? Guys, are you clear now? Exactly. But instead of writing I equal to I plus 6, can I reduce the line here? As I think now this code is valid, no problem. So code is compiled fine. Code is compiled fine. Code is compiled fine. Code is executed fine. So we got the output like, see guys, 333 to 444. By stepping how much, guys? By stepping 6, right? 333, 39, 45, 51, 57. Like that, we get the output, guys. But here, can I write the code like I plus equal to 6? Guys, what the meaning of I plus equal 6? I plus equal 6, nothing but I equal to I plus 6.
Yes, sir.
I plus equal 6, right? Exactly, guys. Then code is compiled fine. Java the class is called what? Test class, right? Guys, like that depends on the requirement. You're able to do the modification in the code, guys. Don't think like always I equals 0, I less than 10, right? So no, most of the students will think like I equal 0, I less than 10 means always for loop content starting with 0. They think like that. Are you clear? Guys, the example is clear. First case I plus plus 0 to 9. Second case 1 to 10 is printing. Third case it is printing 333 444, right? By stepping how much, guys? 6. When you make the 6 value means I plus 6 is invalid, guys. You have to write I equal to I plus 6, right? I equal to I plus 6. Guys, that is example 1 regarding for loop. Any questions, please? Yeah, this is example 1, guys. Class test for loop. 3 for loops are written, right? 3 for loops are written. The next one, let me focus on the initialization part, guys. If you focus on the initialization part, Guys, can you hear me? Yeah. This is the first example about the for loop, guys. Next one you can take the initialization part. In the initialization part, yeah, we'll discuss part by part. We'll discuss part by part. First, we'll focus on the initialization. Guys, first part you can check the initialization part. So if you take the initialization part, so I will do the modification on each and every part, guys. The first point, initialization part. If you check the initialization part, I removed initialization here. I placed initialization somewhere outside here. Then tell me, guys, here I didn't put the initialization right inside the for loop. The initialization part is optional, mandatory. Guys, is it initialization part is optional, mandatory?
It's an optional.
Here I didn't put the initialization. Here I didn't put the initialization, right?
Already taken out.
Yeah, here I didn't put the initialization, guys. So here initialization part is optional, guys. In the for loop, initialization part is optional, but semicolon is mandatory. Even though if you didn't take this initialization, definitely you have to put the semicolon, right? The first case, guys. Case one is like initialization part is optional, but condition is what? Sorry, initialization part is optional, but semicolon is mandatory, right? Exactly. Java class is which class, guys? Here, test class. We got output is like 0 to 9 times, right? 0 to 9 times, guys. The first one. And second one here, in the initialization part, I can take even SOP statement also. But don't ask what to use, guys. Just you can valid statement. So we can write the system.out.println enough. Here you can write simply like Anu. You can write the Anu here. If you write the Anu, the initialization done how many times, guys? Only. Guys, the initialization execute how many times? Only one time, right? If it executed only one time means, so then Anu is printed how many times, guys? Just Anu is printed only once, right? Exactly. So Anu is printed only once. Then you got the message like good morning 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Exactly. So in the initialization, so first point is initialization part is optional. Second point is what in the initialization part it is possible to take the SOP statements also. We can take the multiple SOP statements, guys. Every SOP is separated with the comma. Okay, every SOP is separated with what? A comma, right? A second case, guys. And if you take the third point here,
Sir, initialization part is optional. Okay, that's fine. But we need to initialize the variable either in the loop or either outside the loop.
outside of the loop, yeah. Data is mandatory, right?
Yeah.
To check the condition, but here I didn't place the data. That's why that I said that point.
You mean if we don't place the data, it will compile?
No problem, right? Here, if you didn't place the data, but somewhere outside the variable is there. Somewhere outside we have the value. Okay, so in this case, this code is compiled, right? Code is compiled, code executed, right? We got the output 0 to 9, right? That's what I'm saying here. Initialization part is optional, but somewhere initialization is there definitely. But inside the for loop, here we don't need to declare the initialization part. It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. Good. And second point is what you can write the SOP statements, right? We can write the SOP statements.
Yes.
So next one is like int I equals 0, comma int j equals 0. Guys, this case what's the output now? I take the two initializations, right? Int I equals 0, comma j equals 0. This case what's the output now? I declared two variables, just I'm using I variable, right? I didn't use the j variable. If you didn't use the j variable means any problem here? There is no problem, right? There is no problem, right? Exactly. So this case what's the output now? Guys, this case what is output? In the initialization part, I taken the two initializations, right? Is the two initializations?
Good morning.
Two initializations.
Good morning, Singapore. Good morning.
Good morning is printed how many times? Just 10 times, right? 0 to 9 times. So 0 to 9 means just 10 times it is printing the data. Then code is compiled, not compiled means it's not compiled, guys. Because in the initialization part, it is possible to take the only one initialization part, guys. In the initialization part, it is possible to take what? Only one initialization. But here we are taking the one initialization, two initializations. Yes, here we are taking into one initialization, two initializations, right? That's what here 2 is allowed and not allowed means something is not allowed, guys. Okay, but in the initialization part, declaring the two initializations is not allowed, guys. But we have an option like you can declare the data type once, int I equals 0, comma j equals 0. This is valid, guys. See, declaration of the data type two times not possible. Int I equals 0, something j equals 0, something like that. But one data type declaration, then you can write the multiple variables, right? You can write the multiple variables. This is like one time initialization only, guys, because here int I equals 0 comma j equals 0, this all comes under one statement only, right? This all comes under one statement. This is a point is clear. So declaration of the data type two times are not possible, guys. It may be same type, it may be different types, but one data type with multiple variables are allowed, right? One data type with multiple variables are allowed, right? Then code is compiled fine. Java class is which class, guys? Test class. We got output like 0 to 9, right? We got output is like 0 to 9, guys. That is basically initialization part. First point is initialization part is optional, but semicolon is mandatory. In the initialization part, it is possible to take the SOP statements here. And the third one is what? In the initialization part, declaration of data type multiple times are not possible, guys. Int I equals 0, j equals 0 is not possible. But one data type with multiple variables are possible, guys. Guys, one data type with multiple variables are possible, right? Int I equals 0, comma j equals 0. It is valid, guys. No problem. That is basically like initialization part we done. So second part, if we check the condition part here, I remove this condition here. If you remove this condition, now tell me, guys, is that condition part is mandatory or optional? Guys, it condition part is optional or mandatory? I removed condition, right? Guys, I'm asking like condition part is mandatory or optional? Definitely condition part is mandatory, yeah? Okay. So if
Condition part will be mandatory, otherwise it will be in infinite loop.
So definitely it's compiled fine. It's compiled fine means even if you didn't put the condition, the code is compiled, right? It means the condition part is what? Optional, basically. Condition part is optional, guys. But if you didn't put any condition here, by default the compiler will place the true condition. Okay. The condition part is optional. If you didn't place the condition, by default the compiler will place which value, guys? By default the compiler will place the true condition, right? That's what. So if the compile is placing the true constant means, then what happened, guys? The loop is repeated true, 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 true. The loop is repeated how many times now? Guys, the loop is repeated how many times? The loop is repeated infinite times, right? Exactly.
Infinity times.
Yeah. So then condition part is optional, mandatory means optional, guys. If you didn't put any condition, so by default the compiler will place which condition, guys? True constant, right? That's why the loop is repeated how many times means infinite times, right? Exactly, guys. That's basically condition part. That's basically condition part. And the third one is what? Increment decrement part, guys. I removed increment decrement part. If I remove increment decrement part, is that increment decrement part is mandatory optional? Guys, increment decrement part is mandatory optional. Guys, increment decrement part is mandatory. Means definitely it is also optional, right? Yeah, optional, guys. Now I didn't place the increment decrement part. In this case, what's the output now? Guys, what is the output now?
Good morning will be displayed only once.
Once, as an increment is not there.
The increment is not there.
It will be again an infinite loop. So
You get infinite loop, right? One time or infinite loop?
infinite.
Okay.
Because the condition will always be true.
Because the zero value is there, right? The condition always will be true, right? 0 less than 10, 0 less than 10, 0 less than 10, 0 less than 10. Always high value is a 0. There is no increment value. That's what is checking like 0 less than 10, 0 less than 10. So then definitely you'll get the output is how many times, guys? Infinite times, right? Exactly. So if you want, you can see code is compiled fine. So code is executed fine. We got the output is infinite times, right? Exactly. Guys, somewhere in the data here I can write the I++. It's not a problem. Then what happened, guys? Now code is compiled fine. Now code is compiled fine. Now code is executed fine, right? So 10 times we got the output, right? Anyhow, increment decrement part is optional, mandatory means. Yes, increment decrement part is optional, mandatory means definitely you can say optional, right? Exactly. Yes, even in the increment decrement part, it is possible to write the SOP statement also. It is possible to write the SOP statement also. The system dot out dot system dot out dot println now. Tell me, guys, here I can write the Ratan now. What is the output now? This case. This case, what is the output?
10 times it is good morning and again 10 times Ratan.
First, good morning 10 times printed, or 10 times Ratan is printed, or mixing of data is printing.
Mixing of data.
Yeah, definitely we'll get the data mixing of data, right? First of all, we'll get the good morning message, then Ratan. Again, good morning Ratan, good morning Ratan, good morning Ratan. So the loop is repeated. So we'll get the output is like good morning Ratan, right? Then code is compiled fine. So Java class is called what? Test class, right? So we got the output is like good morning Ratan, good morning Ratan, good morning Ratan, and all, right? Exactly, guys. Is that clear now? That is called increment part, right? Exactly. Guys, here I want to print the data from 10 to 10 to 5. Tell me the code for that. I want to print the message like good morning 10 to 5 times. Guys, my question is good morning 10, good morning 9, good morning 8, good morning 7, good morning 6, good morning 5. Up to 10 to 5, I want to print the good morning message. Then tell me the code.
I equals to 10.
I
I
equal to 5.
No. Starting value is which one,
E
guys?
equal to
10, no?
10,
From 10,
9,
10.
8, 7, 6, 5, right? What is the starting value? 10, right?
5.
Then you can take the I value is a 10, right? Exactly. Then tell me, guys, what
I
is
less
the
than
answer?
equals to 0.
I less
That's
than or equal to 5, right?
5. I
I less than equal to greater than equal to condition. I greater than equal to, right? Yeah, greater than equal to 5. Because see, here you're getting the 10 greater than equal to 5, 8 greater than equal to 5, 7 greater than equal to 5, 6 greater than equal to 5, 5 greater than equal to 5. Now greater than equal to, right? Here, what is the condition you ought, right? Increment.
I minus
Hmm? I
I
minus,
minus
right? Exactly. Now we can check the output, guys. Now we can check the output. CLS. Yeah, code is compiled fine. Code is executed fine. We got the output is like I didn't print the I value. Simply let me print the I value so that will get the clarity. Code is compiled fine. Yeah, the class is called what? Test class, right? See the output, guys, here. We got the output is 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, and 5, right? Yes or no? So like that depends on the requirement. You are able to modify the data and able to print the data, guys. Depends on the requirement. Able to modify the data and able to print the data, right? Exactly. And print the values from 20 to 10 by decrementing 2. I think you know these values, right? I hope this code is clear, right? For int I equals 0, I greater than or equal to 10, I minus 2. I minus equal to 2, guys. I minus 2 equal to means what? I equal to I minus 2, right?
minus 5.
Yeah, I equal to I minus 2, right? It is printing like 20 to 10 by decrementing how much now? By decrementing 2, right? By decrementing 10, 20 to 10 by decrementing minus 2, right? Exactly, guys. Guys, there is information about your for loop. For loop contains total how many parts total? It's for loop contains total how many parts? 3 parts. What are 3 parts, guys? Initialization part, initialization part,
Condition.
part, increment, decrement part. Right?
Incremental decrement.
Exactly. Guys, we decided like initialization part is mandatory, optional. Initialization part is optional, mandatory. Optional. Condition part is mandatory, optional.
optional.
Optional. Increment, decrement part is optional, mandatory. Optional. Then what's the output now? You said everything is optional, I removed everything, right? You said everything is optional, I removed everything. Then this case, what's the output now?
Infinite loop, sir.
Infinite.
Infinite loop, right? Because the default condition is what? The default condition is true, right? The default condition is true.
Yes.
The loop is repeated how many times, guys? The loop is repeated infinite times, right? It means for semicolon represents what? Infinite loop, right? For without any data representing which loop, guys? Infinite loop or not? Because the default condition is what? The default condition is true. That's why the loop is repeated how many times, guys? Infinite times, right? Exactly. The loop is repeated how many times? Infinite times, right? Good. And one small point, guys, here. One of the student is asked this question. I equals 0, I less than 10, something like this. You can write I equals 0, I less than 10, I less than 10. We can write the I plus plus. Okay, good morning message. I plus plus. Good morning message. After that, here I'm trying to print the data. The system dot out dot println. Tell me, guys, system dot out dot println of. Here I'm printing the number I value. Then tell me, at last line, what's the I value now? Guys, at last line, what's the I value?
I value will be 9.
I value with a 9 or 10.
9.
Guys, I value.
Oh, sorry, it will be 10.
Uh,
10.
guys, I value is 9 or 10 now.
10.
I value is 9 or 10 means definitely 10, right? Exactly. Guys, but it generate error message, right? Because I equals 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. I declare this variable inside the loop, guys. Inside the loop means what? That variable basically local variable. Once if you declare the variable inside the loop, the scope of that variable is only within the loop, guys. But I'm trying to access that variable within the loop or out of the loop. I'm
Out of
trying
the
to access the real data out of the loop, right? Outside of the loop, right? That's what definitely generates what error message. Yeah, it's saying like cannot find symbol, which symbol cannot find symbol, guys. Variable I is cannot find symbol, right? Location is what class test location. Very clear now. Once if you declare the variable inside the for loop, that scope is what within the for loop, right? So that's why we cannot access outside of the for loop, right? We cannot access what outside of the for loop. Is it clear now? We cannot access what outside the for loop, right? Exactly. But see, guys, if you want access outside the for loop, then I can do one thing. So I think this code can be can get the data, right? Whereas previously, this example I declared the variable inside the for loop. That's what we are unable to access the data outside of the for loop, right? But you try to check this code here. First, I declared the variable. Where I declared the variable inside the for loop, outside the for loop.
Outside of one.
Outside the for loop. Here I taken I equal to 1, right? I taken I equal to 1. Here I just am initializing the data, right? I equal to 1. So that I can access this I value here or not.
Yes.
I can access the I value here, right? Previously, I declared I variable inside the for loop so that we cannot access outside of the for loop, right? So we can use that variable only within the for loop. But now I declare that variable inside the for loop, outside the for loop, outside of the for loop, right? So that I can access the data, so that I can access the data throughout the all the files, right? Okay, sorry, clear now. Now the I value, is how much, guys? Check the syntaxes, guys. Check the syntax declaration.
11.
Important. 10 only, right? 10 or 11, 11 only.
I guess.
There's 11. High plus plus means what? 11 less than or equal to 10 means false, right? 10 less than or equal to 10, true only, right? When you take the I value is 11, then only it is wrong, right? Yeah, that's fine, guys. Guys, are you clear now? Last three cases here. For semicolon represents what? Infinite loop. It's infinite loop. And once if you declare the variable inside the for loop, we cannot access that variable outside the for loop. If you want access outside the for loop, you can define the variables outside of the for loop, right? Declare the variable outside the for loop, right? Exactly, guys. Good. I hope you try to check this code, guys. Printing the numbers from 333 to 444. I hope you can understand this all the points, right? Try to check this example once. Printing the data from 10 to 2 by decrementing by -2. 10 to like this one, right? Yes, data from low to high value, then increment we have to give. Okay. See, guys, you want to print the low value to high value. So low value to high value means 10 to 6. Sorry, 6 to 10 I want to print. Low value to high value means we have to give the increment data, right? We have to give the increment data. But you want to print the data from highest to lowest. Highest to lowest means increment or decrement, guys? Guys, highest to lowest means increment or decrement. Definitely you have to do the decrement. Right?
Agreement.
Yeah, that you have to decide like which one is when the increment required and when the decrement is required, right? Increment means lowest to highest means increment required. Highest to lowest means what? Decrement is required, right? Decrement is required, guys. That's it. Are you clear now? Good. But tell me, guys, now next point here. I can take the for loop. I can take the for loop int I equals 0. Okay, int I equals 0. You can write the I less than or equal to 10. Yeah, I less than or equal to 10. You can write the I plus plus. Guys, but my question is I want to stop my loop when the I equal to 5. When the I equal to 5, I want to stop the loop, guys. Then tell me how can we stop the loop? Assume like just I want print the I value here. When the I equal to 5, I want to stop the loop. Then what do we do here? Check the if condition, right? If x double I double equal to 5. If I double equal to 5, can I use the break statement? Break is used to stop the loop execution, basically. Guys, break is used to stop the loop execution, right? If I double equal to 5, break it, guys. Other 0 printed, 1 printed, 2 printed, 3 printed, 4 printed. 5 double equal to 5 means break, right? Break means what? Stop the loop and come out of the loop, right? Exactly, guys. Guys, to stop the loop execution, always you're using which statement here? Break statement. Guys, to stop the loop execution, we are using which statement here? Break, right? Now we can compile it. Code is compiled, fine. The other class is called test class. See the output, guys. We got the output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 5 double equal to 5, we got the stop the loop, right? System dot out dot println of. Here you can write some stars here, and we have the continue. So in place of break, let me write the continue. Because in place of break, I write the continue simply. So in I double equal to 5, can I write the continue now? So then what is the difference with the break and continue? Simply I understood like break is used to, guys, what the purpose of break? Break is used to
To stop the
stop the loop execution, right?
Stop
Break is
the-
used to stop the loop execution, guys. What about continue? Code is compiled
So
fine.
the condition is satisfied, further it will loop the condition.
Check the output, guys. Depends on output. Tell me what the difference break and continue. Break is simply stopping the execution, right?
It will skip that.
Yeah, break is used to stop the execution, guys. Continue is used to skip the particular iteration, right? Continue is used to skip the particular iteration, right? Yes, yes, I know. Here I'm skipping like fifth iteration, right? See, guys, whenever the continues occur, it won't execute the remaining code. It will skip the remaining code. It won't execute the remaining code means it doesn't print a 5 value, right? Directly control goes to I++, guys. When the continues occur, it won't execute the remaining code. It won't execute the remaining code. Directly it goes to what? I++, right? Directly it goes to I++, guys. So we got the clarity of the break versus continue. Break is used to stop the loop execution. Continue is used to, guys, break is used to stop the loop execution. What do you continue here? Continue is used to skip the particular iteration, right? Continue is used to skip the particular iteration, right? Exactly, guys. Okay, so the difference between break versus what? Break versus continue. Break is stopping the execution. Continue is stopping the execution. Like continue is skipping the iteration, right? Exactly. Guys, just it is taking input from end user here. Taking input from end user. Scanner as equal new scanner of system.n. Boys enter a number. They entered some number. Boys number I taken. If I w equal boys number, it means boys what the data they entered, they'll stop the loop, right? They'll stop the loop means break. Girls enter a number. Girls enter a number. Take that number. I w equal girls number. Then continue, right? It means they're skipping the particular iteration. As boys say, what are the data I taken? I'm stopping the loop. Girls, what are the data I'm taking? And just I'm continuing that loop, right? Yeah, just I'm taking the input from end user and processing the data, guys. The second case there. The third case, like we can use the break statement only in two places, guys. Yesterday we used the break statement inside the switch case, right? Guys, yesterday we used the break statement inside the switch case or not? Exactly.
Yes.
So yesterday we used the break statement inside the switch case. Today we will use the break statement inside the loops, right? Exactly. So we can use the break statement only two places, guys. One is inside the switch and inside the loops, right? Inside the switch and what? Inside the loops, guys. Are you clear now? Inside the switch and what? Inside the loops, right? That's it. Inside the switch and inside the loops, you can use a break statement. But tell me, guys, here I can write the if of true. True is valid, right? If of true. So system dot out dot println of system dot out dot println of. Here I can write something like Ratan. So like that, let me print the data. Ratan. Just I'm printing the data out 4 times. So after 2 times, guys, after 2 times, just let me use the break statement here. Guys, this case what output now? Guys, this case what is output now?
Ratan will be printed twice.
Ratan is printed how many times, guys? Ratan is printed like twice, right? Exactly. Guys, just now I said one conclusion, right? What the conclusion I said? We can use a break statement in how many places? Guys, we can use a break statement in how many places? Only 2 places, right? What are 2 places?
Loop.
inside the loop.
So see, just now we discussed like we can use the for loop only inside the. We can use the break statement only inside the switch or what inside the loop, right? Inside switch or inside the loop. But here, tell me, guys, here the break is what inside the switch or inside the loop? Guys, here the break statement is inside the switch or inside the loop. Here it is inside the if condition, right? Inside the if condition means if is a conditional statement, right? Then it is valid or invalid. Definitely it is invalid, guys. If we compile this code, we got the error message. With the error message, guys, break is outside of the break outside switch or loop, right? Saying clear error message, break outside switch or what? Break outside switch or loop, right? Exactly. Break outside switch or loop. So we can see previously I'm using break inside the if condition, but the if is there inside the loop, right? For loop, right? Inside the loop, right? That's why it's not a problem, guys. Is very clear now? So we can use the break statement only in 2 places, guys. What are the 2 places here? Inside the switch and inside the loops. Inside the switch and what? Inside the loops, right? If you use the inside the if condition means it's saying error message like switch is outside of the break is outside the switch or loop, right? Break is outside switch or loop, right? Exactly, guys. Guys, break versus continue is clear. Break versus continue is clear, right? Exactly. So next one, guys, one last example I'll take. So if you can see his code here, int I equals 0, I less than or equal to 10, I less than or equal to 10, then you can write the I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. Then you can write the system dot out dot println of. Here you can write the message like good morning, good morning. So after the good morning 10 times printed, after the for loop I return one SOP statement. The system dot out dot println of println of what? Here you can write the other. Guys, this case what output now? This case what is the output now? Good morning is printed how many times? Yeah, good morning is printed 10 times. After the 10 times, what the output now? Rather is printed, right? Good morning is printed 10 times, guys. After the 10 times, it is executing the data like Java test class. See, guys, good morning is printed how many times here? 10 times, right? After 10 times, what the output gets here? Rather is printed, right? After 10 times, we got the output is what? Rather, right? Exactly, guys. But see here, I written the condition like a true condition here. If you write the true condition now, this case, what's output now? If you write the true condition now, what is output now?
The Ratan will never be printed, and it will be in indefinite loop. Good morning.
Here,
Only
Ratan,
good morning.
good morning is going to go for the infinite loop. Means Ratan executed or not executed? Like remaining code.
Ratan will not be executed.
Not execute.
It will not execute. This code is never executed, right? Whatever the code here, it is never executed, right? Whatever the code is there in the after for loop, this code is never executed or not? This code is never executed, right? Exactly. So if it is never executed, then why you written this code? Then definitely it's showing error message, right? Guys, it generate error message, guys, which is like compilation error. Code is compiled or not compiled, guys. We get the message like unreachable statement. What is unreachable statement, guys? That is unreachable statement, right? When the control is unable to reach particular area, that area is called unreachable area, guys. Guys, if the control is unable to reach particular area, that area is called what? Unreachable area, right? That's what here Ratan is unreachable statement, right? Guys, Ratan is what? Untouchable statement, right? Exactly. Guys, if you write the false, this case what's output now?
Rather will be
Guys, what's output now? We decide like true means what happens, remaining
Not
code is
pretty.
never. Yeah, true means what? Remaining code is never executed. That's what this code is unreachable, right? True condition. But now I written the false condition, right? Then this case what's output now?
Ratan.
Just Ratan is printed, huh?
Yeah.
Guys,
unreachable.
which one is unreachable?
Good morning.
Exactly. That is correct answer, guys. Good morning is unreachable, right? Because here, if it is a false, means what? The control is never entered into the for loop, right? The control is never entered into for loop, right? If the control is never entered into the for loop, then why you return this for loop now? That's what we have previously. True means what? Remaining code is unreachable. Now false means what? The code itself is unreachable, right? The code itself is what? Like for loop itself is unreachable, right? Exactly, guys. So then code is compiled, fine. Then code is compiled, not compiled, guys. We get the unreachable statement. Good morning, right? Yeah. If you pass the true means what happened, guys? Remaining code is unreachable. If you write the false means what? The code itself is the loop itself is unreachable statement, right? Guys, are you clear now? The loop itself is unreachable, right? Yes, frequently in application level, when you get the unreachable statement, then decide the control is unable to reach in particular space, right? Particular area, right? That is called unreachable statement, guys. That is called what? Unreachable, right? Exactly. Guys, now tell me here, I written I greater than 0, I plus plus. This case, what's output now? Yeah, this case, what's output, guys, now? Guys, we write the true and false conditions means they will get unreachable statement definitely. So now this case, what is output now? I greater than equals I greater than 0, I plus plus.
Continuous loop will happen.
What's output now? Yes, please respond. What's output now?
Infinity time.
Indefinite loop.
Good
No,
morning.
Again.
one time.
Which way? How many times? Good morning. Good morning is printed infinite times, huh?
No. One time only.
Why one time, man? Condition is always true, right?
Good morning, one time.
It's infinite for loop. there is no equals to for the condition. It's a continuous one.
Guess what do I put now? So I think good morning is printed infinite times, right? If the good morning is printed infinite times means is Ratan executed or not executed?
Not executed.
Huh? Not executed? Not executed means you will get the untouchable statement, I think.
Sir.
This is no, because the control is never entered into the Ratan code, right? Because the good morning is printed infinite times. Infinite times means what? Ratan executed or not executed? Not executed, right? Therefore, we get the untouchable statement, right? Exactly. Because if we compile this code, are you getting any error message here? There is no error message, guys. So code is compiled fine properly. The code executed fine. We got the output is good morning message, right? Exactly, guys. So even though infinite times good morning is printing, it will Ratan won't executed, but it's still unable to generate error message, right? Untouchable statement. The reason is when you place the true constant, guys, the true never become false. That's what a compiler immediately decide that untouchable statement. Because if you write the true means true never become false. If you write the false constant, false never becomes true. Then when the compiler checking the constants directly, then directly compiler is generating out error message, right? Untouchable statement. But now we are writing the constants in the normal condition here. Because here we are writing the constants in normal condition, right? Normal condition. If it is normal condition means what happened? Tell me guys. If it is normal condition, maybe a chance of inside the loop. If you write I plus plus I minus minus, maybe a chance of this condition is failed or not. Guys, here true is there. True is there means true never become false. True never become false. That's what compile immediately saying like untouchable statement. Compile immediately saying like untouchable statement. Okay, but now I have the condition. Condition is what, guys? Maybe a chance of this condition is failed, right? Maybe a chance of this condition is failed or not. That's what, guys. When you write the condition, even the condition is the when we write the condition, even the condition is the tell me guys, even the condition is what? Yeah, even the condition is false, even the condition is showing infinite times, is unable to generate error message, right? Exactly. So finally, the conclusion is, we will get the unreachable statement only. We will get the unreachable statement only when we have the Boolean constants, guys. When we have the condition, even the condition dependent infinite time is unable to generate error message, guys. Unable to generate unreachable statement, right? Exactly. Unable to generate what?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Tell me.
What is a constant here? I really don't.
Constants means that is a true and false, right? This is like constant, right? True. This is a true constant. The true constant means and compiler immediately understand that well, this is a the developer written the true constant. The true constant means what? The code never goes to the this loop, right? Then immediately compiler decides error message because compiler knows this constant. But if you write the condition means compiler knows this condition or not? Definitely no, because compiler may be thinking like, okay, if you write the I plus plus I minus minus here, assume like I written I equal to I plus 6 something like this, then maybe chance of the condition is failed, right? That's what compile is unable to decide. This is unreachable statement. The compiler will generate the unreachable statement only when you return the Boolean constants. Only when you return the Boolean constants, right? That's it, guys. If you write the
I have a question.
Hmm.
So can you write the constant over there? I is greater than 0. And can you repeat? Can you remove this line? System.out.println good morning.
This line.
Yes. And yes. Now and remove the second one also.
This one also.
This one also. So what will be the output in this case, sir?
But you try in offline, man. This kind of possibilities. Remaining code, any code is there?
No.
If remaining code is there, unreachable code. If remaining code is not there, no unreachable code, right?
Okay.
When we have the remaining code, then only the code is unreachable. Do you have any code now? There is no code, right? There is no code means there is no unreachable data, right? If code is there,
Yes,
unreachable.
yes.
There is no code, there is no unreachable, right? Exactly. Because we will get the
Okay.
unreachable statement only when we have the Boolean constants. We will get the unreachable statement when we give the only Boolean constants. Okay. If you once you write the condition, even the condition shows infinite times, but compile will not generate the error message because maybe a chance of condition is what fail, right? Maybe a chance of condition is what fail, guys. Guys, as our information the for loop, guys, we done with the for loop. We try to check this assignments regarding for loop, guys. Total how many assignments are there total here? 4 assignments are there. Assignment 1, write a program to print the even values from 1 to 20. Even values from 1 to 20. Very simple thing here, even values from 1 to 20. Next one is what? Case assignment 2. Write a program, print the sum of 1 to 10 numbers. Sum of 1 to 10 numbers, sum of 1 to 10 even numbers, sum of 1 to 10 odd values. Sum of 1 to 10 odd values, right? This is assignment 2. Assignment number 3. Working with the negative values, guys. You try to print the values from -6 to -20. First case. Next one is what? -5 to -15. -8 to -2. -16 to -1. -16 to what? -1, right? Is that clear now? So just you can try to print these values basically. So -6 to -6 to what? -20. Yes, -6 to -20 means which is like lowest to highest or highest to lowest? -6 to -20.
Lowest to highest.
Lowest to highest. -6 is the
Minus
lowest.
one.
Highest to lowest.
Low.
Highest to
Minus
lowest.
6 is the highest. -6 is the highest.
Then this value is what? Highest to lowest, right? Highest to lowest you have to print means you have to do increment value, decrement value. That you decide, okay? That you decide which one. So you got the clarity, right? What the requirement means? Print the values from -6 to -20, -5 to -50, -8 to -2, -16 to -1. That's it. And the fourth assignment is what? In application, take the pin number, guys. Take the pin number like 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the pin from end user. Take the pin from end user. If application pin, user pin, both are valid. See, guys, in application you taking 1, 2, 3, 4. You are taking pin from end user, right? End user, please enter the number. Enter the pin. Assume like he also enter the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what happened, guys? So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 both are matched, right? The application pin and user pin both are valid. Print the message. Congratulations, pin is valid. Stop the execution. Guys, print a message. Congratulations, pin is valid. Stop the execution. If the pin is invalid, guys, if the pin is he entered the different pin actually. Take the pin again. Take the pin again, and take the input from take the pin again. Like that, how many times you have to take the data means total 4 times you have to take the data. Take the input from take the input 4 items. After 4 items, say bye bye. Your account is blocked for 24 hours. Yes, your account is blocked for 24 hours, right? For 24 hours, something like this. Is that clear? So here I said like take the input. How many items, guys? 4 items. 4 items means what? Simply can write I less than equal to 4, right? Yes, I can write the I less than equal to 4 or not. Take the input from item the 4 items. After the 4 items, you have to say the message like bye bye, right? Bye bye. Your account is blocked, guys. Guys, these are 4 assignments. You try to complete these 4 assignments. With that, your just a for loop is completed, guys. We'll meet in tomorrow class. We'll go for the while loop and do while loop and for each loop. We have some more loops concept. Tomorrow we'll discuss the remaining parts. And tomorrow we'll complete this flow control statements, guys. Is that clear? Yeah. Guys, try to check this point. Meeting tomorrow will continue.
Bye bye.